The impact was brutal. Concrete walls don't forgive mistakes, and when the dust finally settled, one thing was clear. Modern NASCAR safety had once again done its job. The cars were destroyed, but the drivers walked away. For Shane Van Gisbergen, however, the damage went far beyond twisted sheet metal. After climbing from his wrecked car, SVG opened up about what had been taken away in a single moment. When you have a chance to win a race, when you're in the perfect position to make it happen, and then everything gets ripped away from you like that, it's tough. And tough doesn't even begin to describe it. For Connor Zilisch, San Diego became another painful chapter in what has already been a frustrating 2026 season. Sunday marked his 6th DNF of the year. The first time he ever led laps in the NASCAR Cup Series should have been a career-defining moment. Instead, it ended with a wrecked race car and another unfinished race. Zilisch didn't hide his disappointment. "I hate it for everyone at Trackhouse Red Bull. This was a huge weekend for us, and losing both cars like that is just devastating." Meanwhile, Austin Hill knew exactly where the spotlight was pointing. And unlike many drivers in similar situations, he didn't dodge responsibility. After being released from the infield care center, Hill gave one of the most honest explanations fans have heard all season. "I got into turn 1 a little too deep. The rear tires started sliding. Then the front started pushing. By corner exit, I was completely locked to the right, just trying to stay off the number 88. Then came the admission that changed everything. Hill revealed he had carried more speed into the corner than he had all day because he was trying to clear Zilisch. If the 88 wasn't there, I probably make the corner just fine. But knowing he was on my outside, I carried too much entry speed. The result? Disaster. The second I touched him and he hit the wall, it pulled my car into him. At that point, I couldn't stay off him. And just like that, 2 of Trackhouse Red Bull's fastest cars were eliminated." Hill immediately apologized. "I hate it for Connor and the entire number 88 team. I'm sorry." The apology was sincere. But apologies don't repair race cars. What makes the situation even more complicated is the fact that Austin Hill had just celebrated victory at the same track one day earlier, winning Saturday's O'Reilly Auto Parts race. On Saturday, he was standing in victory lane. On Sunday, he was explaining one of the biggest incidents of the weekend. Still, Hill believes he's making progress with the next-gen Cup car, especially on road courses. "I'm finally starting to understand these Cup cars better, especially on road courses. That's definitely a positive." He said everything that needed to be said. The question now is whether Shane Van Gisbergen and Connor Zilisch are ready to move on, because the consequences of San Diego are only beginning. SVG entered the weekend sitting comfortably in 14th place in the championship standings, safely above the playoff cut line. His strategy was aggressive but calculated. He willingly sacrificed Stage 1 points to maximize his chances of winning the race. If it worked, nobody would question it. But then the crash happened. Instead of leaving with a trophy, SVG left with a 38th place finish and just a single championship point. The standings punished him immediately. He dropped from 14th all the way to 17th. Now, instead of being safely inside the playoffs, he finds himself 5 points below the cut line and on the outside looking in. The timing couldn't be more dramatic. Because next up is Sonoma Raceway. And if there's one place where Shane Van Gisbergen can flip the script, it's a road course. That's the good news. The bad news? His poor finish in San Diego forces him back into Group 1 qualifying, making it much harder to secure a front-row starting position. SVG knows exactly what that means. Thankfully, we've got another road course next week. Unfortunately, we'll be back in Group 1 qualifying, which makes things tougher. We just have to execute. Simple words. Massive pressure. Connor Zilisch arrives at Sonoma, carrying the weight of 6 DNFs, but also the confidence that his car had genuine race-winning speed. Austin Hill arrives, hoping his apology can finally close the book on San Diego. But that may not happen. Not after what fans witnessed. Not after what the drivers said. Shane Van Gisbergen refused to even mention Austin Hill's name when speaking to reporters. Connor Zilisch used the word egregious on live television, and drivers don't casually use words like that. Austin Hill owned the mistake. He accepted responsibility. He said all the right things. But wrecked cars stay wrecked. lost points never return. And the championship standings don't care about apologies. The numbers tell the story better than anyone can. Shane van Gisbergen, 38th place, dropped from 14th to 17th in points, now 5 below the playoff cut line. Connor Zilisch, 37th place, 0 points gained, 6th DNF of the season, and his first Cup Series laps led ending without a finish. Austin Hill, 36th place, a Saturday trophy in hand and a Sunday controversy that refuses to disappear. Trackhouse Red Bull lost both of its strongest contenders in the exact same corner, on the exact same lap. The wall repair took only 10 minutes. The championship damage could last the rest of the season. While the garage was still talking about the crash, another story quietly unfolded. Corey Heim captured the Andrew 250 in just his 13th NASCAR Cup Series start, delivering a massive result for 23XI Racing and leading a dominant 1-2 finish alongside Bubba Wallace. Tyler Reddick continues to lead the championship standings. And now the entire series heads to Sonoma. 6 days from now, every eye in that garage will be watching. Not the race, not the championship battle, not even qualifying. They'll be watching for the first moment Shane van Gisbergen, Connor Zilisch, and Austin Hill find themselves side by side again. Because the crash may be over. But the story is just getting started. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. See you at Sonoma. NASCAR continues to insist that every organization is held to the exact same inspection standards. No exceptions, no special treatment, and according to NASCAR officials, every team goes through the same process before and after race weekends. But while the garage continues debating Toyota's recent dominance, Denny Hamlin isn't wasting time responding to the noise. After the race, Hamlin made it clear that he has no interest in entertaining conspiracy theories or speculation. Instead, he pointed to the one thing that matters most: performance. As Hamlin explained, his team arrives at the racetrack every single weekend, fully believing they can win. And honestly, when you look at the speed they've shown lately, it's difficult to argue with that confidence. Everything is clicking. The setups have been fast, the strategy calls have been sharp, the pit crew has delivered when it matters most, and Hamlin himself is driving like a man chasing something much bigger than another race win. He's driving like a championship contender. That's what makes this story so fascinating as the playoffs get closer. On one side, you have Denny Hamlin, putting together one of the strongest stretches of his entire career. A veteran superstar proving that age is just a number. On the other side, you have rival teams watching carefully and asking NASCAR to make absolutely sure everything is being done by the book. At this moment, there is no scandal. There is no penalty. There is no investigation. But there is attention. A lot of attention. And every time Hamlin parks in victory lane, the conversation only grows louder. Because this situation isn't really about accusations. It's about pressure. The pressure that comes when one manufacturer starts dominating. The pressure that comes when championship favorites begin separating themselves from the field. And the pressure that comes when the biggest names in NASCAR start battling for a title. Right now, the championship fight between Tyler Reddick and Denny Hamlin is beginning to feel very real. Toyota teams continue setting the pace. Joe Gibbs Racing remains one of the most powerful organizations in the garage. And 23XI Racing keeps proving that it belongs among NASCAR's elite. Week after week, race after race. The results speak for themselves. And for fans, that means we're entering one of the most exciting stretches of the entire season. Because from this point forward, every point matters. Every pit stop matters. Every restart matters. And every storyline suddenly feels bigger than it did just a few weeks ago. Some fans look at the garage chatter and see nothing more than jealousy directed at successful teams. Others believe increased scrutiny is simply the price of dominance. After all, whenever one team starts winning too often, questions naturally follow. That's how racing works. That's how competition works. Either way, one thing is impossible to deny. The spotlight surrounding Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, Joe Gibbs Racing, and 23XI Racing has never been brighter. And if Hamlin keeps winning, These conversations aren't disappearing anytime soon. In fact, they're only going to get louder, which sets up a fascinating final stretch before the playoffs begin. Can Denny Hamlin complete the comeback and catch Tyler Reddick in the standings? Can Toyota continue this remarkable run of dominance? Will NASCAR increase inspections just to quiet the growing questions being asked around the garage? Those are the storylines everyone will be watching in the coming weeks. And honestly, that's what makes NASCAR so special. Every race creates a new chapter. Every weekend brings new drama. Every victory changes the conversation. And right now, it feels like the sport is building towards something massive. Something that could define the entire season. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think rival teams are simply reacting to Toyota's recent dominance? Or do you believe NASCAR should take an even closer look at Joe Gibbs Racing and 23XI Racing as the playoffs approach? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy daily NASCAR news, controversy breakdowns, championship analysis, and everything happening across the garage, make sure to subscribe to NASCAR Insider Hub. This community is growing fast, and we'd love to have you with us from the very beginning. Because the biggest stories of the NASCAR season are still ahead, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.